And it appears we are live. Hopefully the Wi-Fi holds out and we get a good show. And as well, I'm hoping that the audio is working. I checked it. Before I started the stream, but it has lied to me on many occasions. So if we have any audio issues, just let me know. As it is, welcome to Swimming with the Pontoon number 30, show number 30. I cannot believe we're already up to number 30. Of course, I said that about number 25 and as we've gone on, so it's a bit of a broken record, but here we are. Hope everybody's had a good weekend. I know around the country it is very warm. Here in Louisiana, it is basically a soup at this point. It is literally walking through soup here in Louisiana. The humidity is just downright insane. So if you hear in the background some wind noise, that is because I do have the fan going along with the AC to keep from sweating to death. Today I am wearing a Gunco shirt. No, they did not send this to me for free. I actually bought this. I don't expect them to send me anything for free. I don't need to. I spend a good amount of money with them, but just because it's okay, I will buy something. So I did end up buying a shirt to kind of help promote them because they've taken great care of me when it transferred over to having the Peacemaker systems and now the high that shirts. He's got some really good so anyways, that's kind of what we're doing here today with this shirt. But as always, if you're looking for a Tactical Pontoon shirt, Nordic Nevadan, he's the man with the plan. We got Christina here in the chat. Watch out, Christina is here. So what else has been going on? Friday, as a matter of fact, I went on the P80 Ralph show. He doesn't have that original channel anymore. It's actually under Chairman Juan. I went on to his show. They have a weekly roast, build roast. And honestly, I didn't know what I was getting into because I never watched his content. I knew who P80 Ralph was. I've had an idea of who he was, and they invited me onto the show. I was supposed to kind of go get an idea of what the show was, but I didn't, so I really wasn't sure what I was getting into, and so I went in blind. I'm actually going to, in the chat here, I'm going to leave a link to that episode. And if you get a chance, go check it out. I spent about 2 hours on their show. They had 80% and printed builds that their members would send in, and we would kind of roast them. So I had some fun with that this Friday. A lot of fun. There were some interesting builds that it's a different world from what I'm used to. I'm used to more of the mid to higher end builds, and these builds people sent in were printed builds of all kinds, not just Glock and not just AR, but they had this one build they called the Recession Ruger, which was it's like an adapted printed AR lower with the slide of Ruger 80, I think, up front. It's just it was a monster, and I didn't know what to say about it. It was interesting. So I was over on their show, had a lot of fun. I hope to do it again soon, sometime. I thought I hung pretty well with the crowd. And then maybe I'll have Ralph here on the channel. It has been a while since I've done a guest, and I got to say I have been slacking when it comes to that. My fault there. I will continue I'll get some more people on here. I know the last person we had on was Matt, and that was right after SHOT Show. So obviously I've been slacking on that aspect. So I hope we'll do some more. How's everybody's weekend been? I hope it's been good. We survived through another July 4th. I hope everybody's got their digits. I really didn't do anything in the way of fireworks. The dogs, one dog in particular, he freaks out when it comes to fireworks. And then out in the swamp, normally we have some people that do some firework displays, but it was actually relatively quiet this year. I was really surprised. The dogs were excited that it was quiet. So I mean, yay for that. It was kind of a quiet fourth. I'm okay with that. It's been a very busy year on my end. So just having a little bit of time to relax this week. I probably relaxed a little bit more than I wanted to. There was kind of a gap in my not my trigger orders, but the supply of triggers. I actually ran out of triggers, and the next batch that I ordered was off and anodizing and lasering. So I had a little bit of a gap this week, um, for better or worse. But I have worked Saturday and today to try to catch up, and I mean I've knocked out quite a few orders. Today was G43 Slimline Day, which is a very busy day. The thing about the Slimline triggers is there's a lot of work to get them up to my specifications. I mean, there's a lot of work that goes into them, and I actually kind of overdid myself because one of the versions of my triggers doesn't get as much work, and I didn't realize that I built it up to the next level, and so I gave somebody a free upgrade. It doesn't happen all the time, but somebody got a free extreme upgrade from just a carry version. So if you are the person that got that upgrade, you are welcome. Cannot promise you will always get a free upgrade. Okay, so been catching up. This next week's going to be busy as I continue to catch up. This will be a Leonidas week, which means I will be building Leonidases. There is room. So I will say this. If you if you have a Leonidas that you're looking to pick up, now would be the time to order it, because I have, you could be looking at, at at a very narrow time frame. So if you are on the fence for a Leonidas, now is the time to order. What else do we got going on? Okay. And very light on the Instagram this week. I've just not been on there, and it's been acting funny on my end. Sometimes sending me messages. I think it has to do with their whole threads thing, which they've decided they're going to do. So I don't know if that's it, but the Instagram itself has been kind of acting up, and I'm just a little bit burnt out on Instagram. So I haven't really been on there, but I did post the brass back plates. I don't know if you guys saw those slide plates. I have one here on the Unicorn Customs SCT build. You can see the brass back there. It's kind of hard to see the logo. Let's see. Let's bear with me here. We are going to zoom in on this bat. Oh, this is actually I wouldn't call it a scratch and dent, but this one is kind of not the right color. We were working on getting our settings right, but brass, chunk of brass backplate right there on this build. Here is one of the others. I will be giving a couple of these guys away. Let's go back to on my face. There we go. Manual focus. Manual focus is the only way to focus in my book. Autofocus. Even though this has a really excellent autofocus on this camera, I don't trust it. I really don't. So manual focus is the way to go. Brass backplates, they are live on the website. $30. Yes, nice close up of the beard. Nice. $30 on the website with the Tactical Pontoon logo. I may offer without a logo as an option for like $25, but we'll see. If people ask for one without the logo, we might do that. I haven't had all of them lasered, but and maybe a custom logo, maybe if I can justify that. But they are on the website. I will be giving away two tonight on the stream. A little bit later, probably do the normal ask some bad Glock questions, and the first person that shows up on my end of the chat with the right answer, I will get your information and I'll send you one out. We'll do that in a little bit. Yes, but those are nice. Those brass back plates are pretty nice. I could go into full marketing mode and say that they're twice the weight of the aluminum back plates, and they're also twice the weight of the polymer back plates, which means you will be getting double the benefit weight wise on your slides. So that will help you be more of a marksman. But I'm not going to go there because that would just be kind of dumb. Okay, SRB 165 got the email today with tracking info for your two Peacemaker 4.5s. Yes, probably about Wednesday. I will be getting those in the mail tomorrow. So yes, while there was a little bit of a wait after ordering, just because I did run out of supplies, I got them knocked out. So yes, probably about Wednesday. That sounds about right. I normally get to the post office right around noon, I would say, on Monday. I got a bunch to drop off. So yours will be part of the ones that are dropped off. I'll make sure to get you some stickers. Tristan Riggs, how much do they weigh? I can put them on a scale, and I'll actually I can put the weight on the website. But I would say, looking at, I've got an aluminum backplate here. This is of course a classy Batman backplate and aluminum backplate, and it is easily double the weight of the aluminum. It is solid brass, so double the weight of an aluminum backplate. Enough to make a difference. I mean, if you're for some people, it does make a difference. It's a little bit, and there is a possibility that if you have, say, a comped gun and it is running on the edge of functioning, and you throw on one of these brass backplates that is a little bit heavier, it could throw things out of whack. So, that being said, everything matters. Everything matters, and it doesn't matter until it does matter when you're running on the ragged edge. So it could actually make a difference. But they are solid brass, and they are double the weight of approximately double the weight of an aluminum backplate. So it could make a difference. They're really nice. They really are. I was glad to make those happen. And depending on how successful they are, we may run do another run of them, as well as maybe a different material. Maybe like a copper, but there's no guarantee on that. There's no that is just me throwing things out there. Don't ask me about a copper one at this point, because it truly is something that's in the distance into the year, if we're lucky, type thing. Another thing that we've got coming out, we, as in me, Tactical Pontoon, because it is a one-man operation, except for printing labels. My girlfriend is very nice when it comes to that. She will print out labels. So, of course, sometimes she makes a mistake, and then I have to go fix things or get an email as to why a mistake was made. But, that's the same point when I make a mistake. Anyways, babbling now. Excuse me. Okay, anyway, what do I have? The next thing that I have coming out, for it will be this week, probably Wednesday, is for daggers and that sort of thing, because I was tired of seeing everybody buying the Apex kit, or uh, who else makes Apex is probably one of the bigger ones that I really wanted to, I was just tired of seeing people, on the budget end, buy an Apex trigger shoe that comes with one of their generic connectors, and I know how those work. And for the price, yeah, it's a good entry price when you're looking at about $90 to $110. Um, it's a good price, but that doesn't mean that it's a good option. So, Tactical Pontoon, myself, have decided that I'm going to come up with a dagger, what I call a dagger tuning kit. It'll work for Generation 3, it'll work for Generation 4, but I'm promoting it towards the dagger guys just because that's the new hotness, if you will. And I'm not going to let Apex have that market, because I have a better trigger shoe than the Apex. It is more precise. It has less travel. It looks better. It is higher quality than the Apex. And instead of throwing in some generic 3.5 pound connector, which is basically the same as a dagger connector, I mean, seriously, it's actually a little bit worse because they've changed when they went to the Lone Wolf connector, which is garbage. Um, yeah, it's even worse. I have a connector that I will be including with the kit. It will not, because with the dagger, the nice thing overall about the dagger is dagger comes with a pretty nice trigger bar. Okay, the the cruciform face of the trigger bar is relatively nicely polished. The surfaces are nice. So instead of replacing that with a factory, and even if Apex is using factory, they may not even be using factory anymore. Um, Instead of replacing that, just installing my trigger shoe on their already good trigger bar, then including the connector that I send with it, along with a trigger spring, and including a small tube of badger snot, for right around the same price. Then there will be a couple additional options. There'll be a spring, two different spring options, and it'll bring it up just a little bit more, but it's still going to be a better overall value, and probably right along the same price as what you get with Apex, but you will have a crisper trigger, a nicer break, a better trigger shoe. The thing about the Apex trigger shoe is it has such loose tolerances that it wobbles, versus my trigger shoe that does not on the trigger pin. So the pin that goes through the frame. So it's just, not to mention badger snot, a little bit of badger snot. It's not going to be a full serving, if you will, of the badger snot. This will just be your introduction to it for a price that just matches or beats the Apex. You've got way more value. Tactical Pontoon. It'll be, I think I'm going to call it the Dagger Tuning Kit. It's going to be worth it. So yes, Mike. Quality lasts long after the price is forgotten. And that is something that I think it gets lost, or it just people forget, or don't even know, because they've never taken the time to buy the more expensive thing. They want that instant gratification. So, all right, Jesse Hudson, how you doing, man? Gotta love the snot. Until the next build. Yeah. So that's what I've got going on. The dagger tuning kit that should launch this week. I've got to finish taking a couple pictures to put on the website. Speaking of the website, we did have a little interruption of the website Friday night. Literally after I got done on P80 Ralph's show, I went to go check something on the website, and it was down. It was up right before, and then it was down right after. But fortunately, it was something small. The website recently moved servers, and the guy I had doing it, made a small gaffe, and so by the time the next morning, it was already back up and running. So nothing like having the entire website down overnight on a Friday night, but it's back up and running uh, relatively smoothly. Um, I, I don't know enough about websites. I'm going to be honest with you. While I do manage most everything on the website myself, there's a lot I don't know. And I'm still messing around with there's an email issue on my end where when an order comes through, it's not emailing me. I get notifications through an app, but I normally get an email as well. So little bit of thing. I'm sure there's some backdoor thing that I'm missing that I need to check or something. I don't know. I'll tell you, websites. Wish I was one of those people who could just list it all on eBay and just yeah. Of course, they scalp you for it's they scalp you for enough money, no matter where you're at. Embalmed. They're not made of webs. This is true. Websites are not made of webs. And then Jesse Hudson says, I only know how to purchase on websites. Well, that actually puts you above quite a few people. I can assure you, I get some crazy questions about purchasing. I mean, just everything. Not to make fun of anybody, but there are people that are challenged when it comes to purchasing on websites. Not to mention, not to mention just being able to read a website. I don't know how many times, and again, this is just me venting about telling people just to, yes, that's available. Use the drop down menu. Use the drop down. I have sent that email or message out to many, 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 many people. Use the drop down menu. It's available. Just use the drop down menu. Select your generation. Use the drop down menu. Uh-oh. Destroy 453 says, hey man, use the Badger snot on my G2C, and you're right. The trigger was slicker and the grittiness was gone. Well, thank you, Scott, for trying to sell my Badger snot as my best friend. I appreciate that. It is good stuff though. Badger snot, and this tube is actually, it's kind of fun. These tubes, this is actually going to come back around to part of the Badger tuning kit. This tube is not filled up. I ran into a little bit of an issue with how I was filling these tubes, but I have that taken care of. It was a little bit more difficult than I expected, but these tubes will be approximately half full or so. These tubes are not free. They are reusable, but they're not free, which when you add all of the little ancillary pieces together with a kit like mine, you know, to keep the price where I want it so that I can be competitive when you get little things like these tubes, because this tube actually is about the same price as one of the jars that I use for Badger snot, a full thing of Badger snot that people pay for, whereas this one kind of comes in free with my kit. It does become more difficult to be competitive because this tube is not exactly, it's not expensive per se, but it's not free, and it does with the snot in there and the tube itself, as well as the different packaging, it does become difficult to remain competitive with companies like Apex that are big companies. But I am dedicated to doing that. I am dedicated to owning that part of the market. So you know what? It's okay. It is okay. Hey, MF Wick 61 made it for a change. Glad to have you here. Glad to have you here. I'm glad you made it. I am back to the 6 o'clock mark, somewhere where it's actually better for everybody. When I was doing them during the day, while it was a little bit easier for me, I know you guys are actually out there having a life. 6 o'clock is a better time frame on Sunday. Jesse Hudson, can you make a G3C, G2C trigger? You'll be worth hundreds. Uh, could I might be able to, but again, like you said, it's worth hundreds. Uh, Super late, but jumping on. Desert Tactical says, "What did I miss?" You didn't miss a whole bunch. You did not miss the back plates. I know you had mentioned on Instagram you were interested in one of these back plates. So yes, they. I have not done the giveaway yet. We'll probably do that here soon. We're about 30-minute mark. 43X Andy Bentley, you're waiting for your next drop in. Okay. Well, the 43X, I built a bunch of triggers today for the 43 platform, and every time, every time I go back and forth between a factory slimline trigger and then one of the ones that I build, it makes me happy because when I first really broke into the slimline market, I was not happy with the triggers. Like I did a couple of the basic things that I do with the full size 9mm triggers, and I just wasn't happy with it. So I had to go back to the drawing board with those because the parts are different, the parts are smaller, and the way that things interact with one another is different. And now I'm extremely happy with the slimline triggers. I mean, it's probably one of my favorite triggers that I personally build. Is the Peacemaker Extreme Carry. I'm extremely proud of those. There's just not anything else like it. So, let's see. Jesse, do it. My Pontoon Steel City trigger is the best trigger I have. Maybe, could be. Yeah, it's been a while since I've done any of the Steel City triggers. It's actually been a while since I've talked to the owner of Steel City. We'll be hit or miss every 6 months or so, and I've ever since I went full time, I've been meaning to get a hold of him more often, and we'll leave messages for one another, and I need to just send him. That's what sometimes very been me magwells. Their magwells are always really nice, but it's again I just haven't kept up with them. It's been a busy thing. Is my internet acting up? Crap. Okay. If it gets too bad, let me know. We've got some storms going on. Okay. How bad is the lag? Yeah. I'm if it lags too bad, um we may have to shut it down for today. There's some storms in the area, and the internet is iffy enough, but you throw in any sort of weather and things just go crazy. So if it's pretty bad, then I may have to shut it down for tonight. We may have to do another day. Um yeah, the micro frames we will see hopefully here soon. Again, I don't have isn't vampires. I don't have any sort of like in with PSA. So when the micro launches, I'm going to be in line with everybody else. So hopefully I'll get one soon, like when they first launch, and I can verify those. But we'll see. We will see. Brass backplate on your 19X would look good. Well, they would look good. So yeah, it's not too terrible. Okay, if it's not lagging too terrible, we'll try to hold out. I'm gonna try see if I can make it any better here. The internet, I run this thing on an extension, a router extension out here in the shop, and normally it's pretty decent. Um, but okay, probably had some cloud cover out here in the swamp. Eh, it's we're lucky. I'm actually it's funny because where I'm at on my little road that I live, I have the last um, cable internet. After the next two houses down, they're still on satellite internet. So if I was on satellite internet, I good luck on any sort of streaming. So okay, well, we'll just keep on. We're gonna keep on running it. So why don't we do this? Why don't we do this before it gets spotty again, which it very possibly could. Let's do a backplate. Okay, let's do a backplate. For the first backplate, the question is, let me think. What year? No, I don't even know that. Man, I really should have thought. I should have planned for this. I should have planned for this better. But you know me, I don't plan for that. Okay, on a Glock 21, on a Glock 1683 embalmed wins. No, not yet. On a Glock 21, does it use? Could you use the trigger from a Glock 17, the full trigger assembly from a Glock 17 in a Glock 21? Yes or no? Yes or no? First yes or no answer that is correct. I see a no from SRB 165 as the first one that came up. SRB 165 is the first one that came up. So I Nordic Nevada, and you know better than that. SRB 165, shoot me an email at TacticalPontoon at gmail.com. That is one word. Or you can go to TacticalPontoon.com and go to one of the contact forms and send me an email. Shoot me your information, and I will, unless you have me somewhere else, shoot me your information and I will get you one sent out. Okay. All right. The next one, I've got one more here that I can give away, this little guy. And let me think of a good one. Let me think of a good one. And Stuart, you need to think about what you said. You got to think about what you said. Okay. Let's see here. Okay. What is the striker spring weight? I know this is what is the striker spring weight of a Glock 43? What is the striker spring weight of a Glock 43? Nope. Mike, you're off. You're off by a few pounds. Nope. Nope. We're getting closer. We're getting closer. Nope. Nope, Andy. Not 7. Oh, Stuart. There we go. Nordic Nevadan. There it is. 5.5. Here is okay. This is a good learning opportunity for everybody. The striker spring in a Glock 43 is the same striker spring as in a Glock 17 or a Glock 19. In order to keep the costs down, they used the same striker spring. This is one of the reasons why, even though the striker itself is smaller, when the original Glock 43s launched, they had a truly horrendous staple gun trigger in the first year or so. Was they had a really harsh connector and then that full 5.5 pound connector or striker spring in the gun, and it was basically like shooting one of the CR 920s. It was just crazy. Okay, so 5.5 pound spring. They used the same spring to keep the price down. And it also, now there was a good thing about that, because with an overpowered spring in there, it is going to definitely ignite. I mean, if you've got some shit ammunition in there, it's probably going to fire it off. Does it need to be a 5.5 pound spring? No, it doesn't. But there you go. So, Stuart, I will be sending you one of these beautiful back plates along with some stickers to for your gun, for whichever build you got out there. Okay. The Then what they did, after there was a ton of complaints, they built a different connector. That's why almost any 43 or 42, 43X, 48 that's been built since like the first year of production has a factory minus connector in it. That's how they brought the weight down. It's still very heavy, it's still very notchy, but that is what it is. Okay. Steven, what's up, man? Good to have you here. So that's the two back plates. They are on the website. They are live on the website. I've currently got 20 of them etched and ready to go. So if you didn't win one here tonight, they are on the website available. Go ahead, order, wait to order a slide plate until you order a trigger. Unless you've already bought a trigger and you've got to have a slide plate and it's not time to buy another trigger, or you just got to have one, just wait, order one with your trigger, save yourself some shipping, and they should be there. Like I said, I got 20 currently laser etched. I have more and I will be ordering more. So excuse me, I got some burpage going on. They'll be there, but go ahead, if you want one, order one. Might as well order a trigger while you're there. And code TP15 is still active for another few days. So again, you're gonna order, save $15 on your trigger system. You can use that towards the money on one of these back plates. Go ahead. So we got that. Don't send the plate yet. Might order something this week. Okay, you just let me know, and I'll get you taken care of. I will be wearing one of your shirts next week. I had to wear the fresh new gun company shirt while we were here. Guys, when it comes to the t-shirts, Nordic Nevadan is the man to order from for Tactical Pontoon t-shirts. He's got the good designs. I know he's got some stuff cooked up. The Leonidas design is badass. The Tactical Pontoon shirts, they're extremely comfortable. Everybody who's ordered one, they've hit me up afterwards and they said yes, it was as comfortable as I said it was. So he is the man with the plan. Dave, I'm not gonna send that plate to you. It's his. You could order one, Dave. It would go well with the trigger. You still gotta review. If you haven't, Desert Tactical, Dave at Desert Tactical, he's got a really good channel. It's a smaller channel, but it's coming up, and I foresee him growing. Especially if you go subscribe to him now, hit him up. So I will check my messages when I get off here. Like I said, Instagram's been kind of wonky for me here lately. I'm gonna blame it on the whole Threads thing. Like we need another Twitter. Oh my God. I did the Twitter thing back in 2007, somewhere around there. One of my friends told me about Twitter and I joined, and that was back in the days when on Twitter you shared pictures of your food, and that's kind of what I used it for. And then it got boring. I saw potential for it. I actually at the time had a forum. Yeah, I owned a forum, and I used it. I saw the potential of using that as a way to get messages out to forum members that new posts or new things were going on, but it just wasn't for me. It wasn't for me. And so I would say about 2009 was about when I ended the whole Twitter thing. So I'm not on Twitter. I don't. It is what it is. And Threads being what it is, we'll see. I'm sure it'll give Twitter somewhat runs for its money. For I don't know. It's weird. It's not my thing. I did get your text. I did get your text. Uh, I'm kind of torn on the design. Not a big cowboy guy, but we'll see. We'll see. Let's see. MySpace Day, Steven. Man, I remember uh when the whole Facebook was just coming up, but MySpace was like the top of the heap, and being able to go in and use the code to change your MySpace page to whatever the background was and get your music on there. The thing about Facebook was it was so clean back then. So it was a nice change to go from MySpace, where it was a rat's nest, to Facebook, which was nice and clean. And then now, the last time I went on Facebook on a laptop, which is very rare, it was like way worse than MySpace ever was. Yeah, it's a throwback. It is a major throwback. I guess I'm old. You know, I guess I don't know. Top 8 friends created problems. Yeah, I remember. This is really gonna. I had a thing where I was like, you know what? I want to get 2,500 friends on MySpace. And so I just spam I don't know why I wanted it. I don't know. And this is old. This is 2005 or so. I don't even remember. It's been probably even earlier than that. I remember spamming a bunch of people just to get 2,500 friends. I don't think I ever made it. I think I only made it to like 1,000 or somewhere around in there. But man, weird times. That was, man, just social media. MSN Messenger, never got that. I was big on the Yahoo IM. I remember when Yahoo Instant Messengers and Yahoo chat rooms were a thing. Man, bad places on Yahoo chat rooms. And there's a lot of freaky. Don't get me wrong, I miss the old internet. The new internet that they've got nowadays is nothing compared to the dungeons that we used to travel in the original internet back in the day. And I was really a late comer. I was a late comer to that, because before that we were on the farm and we didn't have internet. So I'm a later comer to the internet per se, but still, man, it has changed. Yes. Yeah. Those old chat rooms, there were some bad people in there. You've got mail. Man, I do remember collecting the CDs for AOL. Remember the CDs all over the place. You'd go into like Walmart or something, and the AOL CDs would be everywhere, and they'd be on the floor over here. You'd open a magazine, there's an AOL CD that would fall. And I can remember having to deal with only having so much time of AOL on the computer. The first computer we got out on the farm, and it was old at the time, some old 286 computer, and dial up, and I would be moving the mouse around, hopefully hopefully that would help make the next page load. Oh man. Old school stuff. Yes, someone would pick up the phone and boot you. It was funny. We got a phone line so that we could get internet. For many times in my life growing up on the farm, we didn't even have a phone. My dad didn't think we needed a phone. So there was a lot of times we didn't have a phone. So talking on the phone wasn't even a thing that I did. And here I am nowadays streaming. That's why I'm an awkward person, because I grew up out in the sticks, homeschooled for quite a few years. I did some public school early on, and then did the homeschool thing. And It's been an interesting life, that's for sure. Dial up, yeah. Party lines. I vaguely remember party lines. Vaguely remember as a little kid, I remember picking up the phone and there was somebody else on. Man, I think I hadn't thought about those in years. Get off the phone. Yeah. Yes. Old memories of an internet and a time gone by. Here we are in a world where we've got our phone that has faster internet and a more powerful processor than probably our first 5 or 6 computers combined. So, I mean, more powerful than what we went to the moon on. So, what a world. AOL email, Jesse. Wow. I I can't even I couldn't even remember what those. I have some of my original Yahoo emails that I still keep around. I've got one I think is probably my second email of all time, Yahoo email. That's still active and I still use it to this day. And up until probably about 5 years ago, I mainly used Yahoo email, and then it became terrible. And then I switched over to Gmail. Gmail's not great, but it's better than Yahoo's was. Rotary phone, Steven. First semi-auto was a 659. That is old. Pick it up as a kid and turn the dials and get yelled at. I My grandmother's house, excuse me, up in Kansas City, she had a rotary phone, and I can remember when they were teaching me how to use the rotary phone, and man, that was the noise it made. Yeah. Eh, how far we've come. How far we've come. It's Honda tuner and a lower than you on AOL. Wow. Yeah. I'm trying to think. On on Yahoo, I remember when you would look up everything on Yahoo as your search engine. And then when like that transition to Google was crazy because I looked everything up on Yahoo. My main page was Yahoo when I would open up a computer, and then here we are now. It's unless somebody uses is it no Bing is gone. It's what's Microsoft Edge now. I mean I, I go to Chrome. Chrome is not the best, but that's kind of what I use. Tried the DuckDuckGo thing. I use that on my phone sometimes, but I guess you'd call me kind of basic white bitch. I still use Google Chrome for better or worse. Bing is back with the AI. I did not know that. I did not know that. Maybe remember Ask Jeeves? That's going back in time. Ask Jeeves. Internet Explorer. What was that? What was the other one? Netscape Navigator. Netscape Navigator. And no, Jesse, you can't slam the phone down anymore. I mean, you can. You're going to break your phone. You're going to break your screen. I mean, unless they're trying to bring back flip phones now. That seems to be a thing. Of course, now you've got a bendable screen, which I guess progress. I don't know. I don't want a flip phone again. I fought having a flip phone for the longest time. I was always into the bar phones, and then finally I think I got a Razor 2, not the original Razor, but Motorola came out with the Razor 2, and I ended up getting one of those. That was a neat phone. And then I think I had a couple flip phones after that, and then we went to the touchscreens. LimeWire. Wow. Yes. LimeWire. Hello, Moto. Oh, Steven, you've got your sidekick still. Man, I remember people walk around and it looked like they were talking, on a football. They looked like they were about to pass. But of course they were really cool because one, it was a massive phone, but two, there were some games or whatnot. Wow. BlackBerry. I still have the last BlackBerry that I had. I actually ran the forum that I was talking about. I didn't have internet at home, and I ran a forum from my BlackBerry Pearl. And then when I needed other access, at the time I was going to aviation school. So I would use the school's computer to access the actual forum deeper than I could from my BlackBerry Pearl. So that's going back. BlackBerry Pearl. I did love my Blackberries. Blackberries were nice at the time. I'm sure. I mean, if you look at them now, the screens were extremely small. They had the little trackpad instead of the track. Forget the trackballs. That trackpad was something else. Whoa, we got a 5 pounds from MF Wick 61. Wow, 5.5. But you got close. You got closer than most people, but you're a little bit late. Nextel walkie-talkie phones at the time when those were big. This is, I mean, obviously we have gone way off track from gun stuff, but that's okay. This is fun. This is fun. I was working at O'Reilly Auto Parts, my first official real job outside of helping my dad with construction. Everybody and their brother, this was a farm town, everybody and their brother had the Nextel. And I don't know how many times people would come up to the counter and they would have their Nextel and they'd be talking to their shop foreman, asking what parts or what year, and bloop bloop. Or you'd have people and you know, of course it was a walkie-talkie, so you know people were screaming at their wives through their Nextel. Man, I don't miss those. Do not miss those. Oh really? Yes. Oh my goodness. I'll tell you, after that, a few years later, I worked for AutoZone, and I would work for O'Reilly's a million times over. I say that a million times over compared to AutoZone, because AutoZone, they had a cheer. We were required to start our shift and recite the cheer. The manager would lead the cheer, and I don't remember what it was, but it was stupid. I didn't last there very long because what the fuck? Uh, I don't know if this is still a thing. They would lead a cheer, the AutoZone cheer, and of course, when you go in to AutoZone at the, you know, your indoctrination, if you will, they would have clips of managers from AutoZone and regional managers doing the cheer at their get-togethers and events, and I'm like, oh no, I am in the wrong place. Yes, there's a cheer. They have a cheer. I don't know what the cheer is. I don't. It's been, at this point, it's been a while, and I went right through my head. I'm gonna find it. I will find it one of these days. I'm gonna have to go to AutoZone and ask them if they still have to do the cheer. That was bad. I quit after a couple weeks because I was like, I can't do this. Between the cheer and just going back to auto parts, I had spent 3.5 years at O'Reilly's and was I had gotten up to an assistant manager, and I was like, no, I'm not, this isn't for me. And then, like I said, about 5 or 6 years later, I did the AutoZone thing for a couple of weeks while I was going to school for aviation. And I was like, no, I'm good. I'm not going back to auto parts. So I'll find out what that cheer is, see if it's still a thing. But my God, no. Jack in the Box. Wow. Okay. Oh, really? Made me so sick. It's a good Jack in the Box can be a thing of beauty. A bad Jack in the Box can be, well, I mean, you got sick from that, so yeah. Of course, even though I am a fat kid, it has been a while since I've done fast food. So a Jack in the Box burger does sound really good. A good one from a good place. Yeah, well, It was it the give me an A? Oh my god. I think you're right. I think you're right. I think you did have to spell it out. Oh man. This brings back bad. I mean, I understand the reason why they would have a cheer. I get it. You're trying to do the morale thing. But when you have people that really are just there to get a paycheck, it doesn't work. Now, if this was truly a career, something really worth value, I get it. And I get why some of these managers would do it, but a counter guy, it's just not going to happen. It's just not. You're going to piss them off and they're going to go. I get rallying around and having friends and trying to make it more than it is, but we're just there for the money. I'm just there to make a living. I'm there to sell some brake parts for you. I'm not there to cheer. Let's see. It was bad when they had the ranks on your shoulders. Oh, when I was there, it was the colored shirts. I ended up as a gray shirt, which was like, just a little bit above the red shirts, which like Star Trek, you send the red shirts out to die. Um, Rarely more than 2 staff members on duty. It's not for everybody. When I was with O'Reilly's, I was, and I'm kind of a car geek, but I like reading catalogs. So I was one of those guys that not only could do the computer, but I was not afraid of getting into catalogs. I have found brake casting numbers. I had this farmer who had a cart that had power brakes or hydraulic brakes, and I ended up finding him replacement brake slave cylinders for his cart by using the catalog and his casting number. So I'm not afraid of using the catalogs, but it's not a job for everybody. Google it and play it. I'm going to find it. I am going to have to find it. Jack in the Box has the best shakes. Mentos says Jack in the Box has the best shakes. Well, if they bring all the boys to the yard, well, then I'm all for it. It was sad. Yes, Desert Tactical. It was sad more than motivating. It was frustrating. It was. I mean, I make a fool out of myself here online all the time, as you guys have seen. But it's a little bit different when it's in person and you're waking up early to go to this job that you probably don't like to go cheer. It doesn't get you in the right atmosphere. It doesn't get you in the right mood. It just doesn't. Let's see. 30 years in automotive. Wow. That's a good while. I probably would have stayed a lot longer if I didn't get sidetracked. Desert Tactical have a newer model Honda Civic Si, and I don't know why people assume I know about cars when I know squat. Well, it is an Si. At one time, owning an Si, and we're talking really pre-2000, owning an Si was a badge of honor, if you will. And then when the I think it's the 4th generation Si came out, it watered it down a little bit. And then everybody could buy a 200 horsepower 4-cylinder. So at one time, owning an Si was a true badge of automotive pride. And I'm not even a Honda guy. I would have owned one of the earlier Hondas SIs. Carl's Jr. is better because they use real ice cream. Is it Carl's Jr. or is it Hardee's? Depends on where you're at. Never had Jack in the Box. Really, Christina? It's not bad. If you go to a good one, it's pretty good. You got to find a good one. We used to have one here in town that was okay, and then it went really downhill, and then it went out of business. If I could find a good Jack in the Box, I would probably go. A Whataburger. Now, a good Whataburger is also a thing. We're supposed to be getting one here soon. Whataburger is more of a Texas thing. I have to go across state lines, which is really close for me. But I haven't been to Whataburger in a couple of years. I mean, if I let myself eat like I wanted to, I would be quite a bit bigger than I am now. Jesse says he had a 99 SI turbocharged. Now we're talking. Now we are talking. I like that. I like the sound of that. So the 99 would have been the hatchback SI, which had the shifter. Didn't it have the shifter that was up on the dash, as I recall? In-N-Out Burger. We don't have any In-N-Out burgers here, but when I went to California, now this has been when I went to California for my brother's wedding, which has been like 15 years ago, we did do an In-N-Out burger, and it was pretty good. It was In-N-Out. It was pretty good. Right before a flight. Oh no. Oh no, that is bad, Dave. I am sorry. I am sorry. B18 98 Civic. Gritty Turbo. Wow. Venom Nitrous. Now that's a name I haven't seen in a while. Wow. Venom Nitrous. Those were kind of like the original, like kind of like the Zex nitrous kits, it's kind of like my Nitrous Express kit. They have the solenoids mounted in the box. I remember they were one of the earlier ones for that. 94 Civic with the H22. I know what the H20. That's a bit. Christina, really? I didn't realize you had an H22 in a Civic. I know you've got the 240. Of course, we met through your SRT4, and now we're challenger bros, if you will. 99 Civic was two-door coupe. Okay. I almost became a Honda person. When I was looking for, I found in the newspaper, if you will, my first car after I blew up my old truck. I found an 80, what year was that? An 87 Integra. 87 Integra. So it was not one of the nicer Integras, but if I had bought that, I probably would have been a Honda person. Now, on my way to go find and look at that Integra, I found a 1996 Dodge Neon at a buy here, pay here, hole in the wall place. And it was blue, 4-door, but it had Eagle alloy wheels. And it drew me in like a fly to shit, if you will. And unfortunately, the car was shit because it overheated on my way home after I bought it. But of course, I put another engine into it, and I fell in love with the Dodge. And I was already kind of a Mopar family guy, and that just kind of cemented my Mopar roots. And of course, it's a true Mopar. It broke down on me, and I had to fix it. So it started me off on the right path. Yes, the 240. I need to come out, Christina, and I need to work on the 240, help you get that thing going. What are those black Civics on Fast and the Furious? I think they were SIs, or they were just base car. Now, the original Fast and the Furious was kind of a B movie, very low budget. So they were probably made to look like Type Rs or SIs, and it's been a while since I've seen it. But they were probably base models like DXs or HXs with lowering kids. In-N-Out. Again, I'm going to have to try it. Mopar had better 4-cylinder options for swaps. Well, there is the SRT4. Or before that, you had the 2.2 turbos. Those were good 4-cylinders. And like I said, their 4-cylinders aren't bad. No, then the newer stuff, not so much. Had hope for the Dart, and they kind of blew it. Okay, need the spinners. All right, guys. I gotta jump off here. We've had a good fun hour. It's been fun. I'm always looking forward to talking about whether it's guns, cars, social media, networks of the past. One day YouTube will be in the past for all of us. I'm sure somebody else will come and usurp this into another platform. But for now, we will enjoy YouTube while it's still around. So everybody have a great rest of your weekend. Yes, Mentos, have a great weekend. Peace. And we'll get out of here. We'll have some more fun. I plan on, cannot promise, but I plan on doing a video this week. I didn't get a chance. I should have this week, but because I was kind of out of the shop, I didn't really think about doing a video, so I slacked there. But I'll see what I can do. As always, like I said, shoot me an email if you haven't on the backplate for I'll wait for your email. I'll get you your backplate. And Stuart, obviously, let me know and I'll check your messages and we'll get something figured out from there. All right, guys and ladies. We will do it again next week. If you need anything, you know how to reach me. TacticalPontoon.com, TacticalPontoon@gmail.com, or of course on Instagram if I see the messages, because Instagram's being the way it is. Tactical_pontoon on Instagram. We'll see you guys later, and we'll do it again here soon. Later.